This is really interesting. The national bank is basically not operating. No one's working. Crypto is really being able to help with fast transfers, sending it back and forth, buying goods and services, and getting results almost immediately. USA are not banning Bitcoin. Biden's executive crypto order coming out today, actually looking to lead the world in digital asset innovations. Extremely awesome stuff there. We're going to dial it all down and simplify everything that's happened over the last 24 hours. Off the back of this news, crypto has bounced. Bitcoin taking charge with a huge hourly candle yesterday. Some altcoins, mainly privacy coins, leading the way on the altcoin front, up 15 to 20%. We're going to look at our on-chain analytics and what that is telling us as to where we're going to from here. And can we predict where prices of assets will go based on whale movements through sentiment analysis? All that and more in today's episode. I'm Ben. Please like and subscribe if you like the daily updates. Let's get into it. So everything has changed in the last 24 hours. Biden has announced his executive order on digital assets, splitting the crypto industry. I personally think it is very bullish. I did say yesterday that I'm pretty sure it's a bit of a non-event. This executive order has been coming for a long time now. Government bodies, yes, it might have a short-term impact on price, but really this stuff doesn't affect it too much in my opinion. However, off the back of the announcement, basically Biden signing the executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets, one thing it is going to provide clearer regulations for the space to allow anyone that uses those assets, builders, developers, consumers, much more fair, clear approaches to how those assets are going to be regulated. Some people are arguing that order lacks a little bit of substance and is too focused on central bank digital currencies. Obviously, this isn't just about Bitcoin specifically. It is around digital assets as a whole, overall setting the table for the type of comprehensive regulation industries actors that everyone's basically been asking for. So overall, I think really positive. What we've seen off the back of that is crypto markets really bouncing. Bitcoin up 7 or 8%, Ethereum up 5%, and as I said, some altcoins have really come up as well. So what we've seen US come out today, and I think what other governments will tend to follow, is saying that they are digital asset friendly. They want to have the ecosystem, the place where they're attracting the builders, the next generation of assets, the next generations of companies. They want to attract the top talent so they can build their economy, and the US continue to lead the charge. So I think we're going to see other countries follow suit. On Blockworks, I mentioned here, calling the rise of digital assets an opportunity to reinforce American leadership in the global financial system and the technological frontier. So really bullish there. And the executive order calls for a more coordinated, comprehensive approach to digital asset policy. And this approach will support responsible innovation and could result in substantial benefits for the nation. So again, I'm not a big politics sort of guy. What I've read up on this is basically now it gets sent off to all of the leaders in the US. Then it's another 3 to 6 months for them to come back on their feedback and do the government stuff that, as we know, takes ages. But from a macro perspective, it is very bullish for digital assets and Bitcoin. Now off the back, this was before the executive order yesterday, I tweeted everything that was going on in the world: the Russian-Ukraine war, rising inflation, social unrest, Biden's looming executive order, governments banning bank accounts, stocks plummeting, and Bitcoin prints a huge hourly candle. Bitcoin tends to do these things. It just does what people think it's going to do, the opposite basically, and Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things there. Now on-chain analytics, where are we going from here? So Checkmate posted to our Collective Shift members this morning that this has happened before, right? A couple of weeks ago, Bitcoin pumped and then it sort of gave away all of its gains over the coming days. So what we're really looking to see is we're looking to get some momentum. What are we seeing? Are we seeing on-chain momentum yet? Not yet. On the longer term scale, we have started to see a bullish divergence forming with some of the macro downswings having less juice. So basically saying that the constant macro narratives are putting less pressure on downwards price momentum. On the shorter term, we have had a bit of a brief break above that bullish line. However, it has been rejected. So we need to see a little bit more momentum push through off the back of this news. Where we're going to go to from here over the next few days to really see if we can get out of that bearish trend. Side to Bitcoin, privacy coins have really led the way off the back of, I guess, the Russian and US potential privacy concerns. So basically, some of the privacy coins like Monero, Zcash, and others are up anywhere between 10 and 20% overnight. We're also seeing some of the other non-privacy coins, Pirate Chain, Verge, also up 25%, Dero up 16% in the last 24 hours. So really interesting to see this privacy coin trend. Some of these privacy coins are pretty interesting in the way they're built. So some of these coins are basically built off zero knowledge proofs. So it allows allows users to transact basically without anyone knowing it's happening, apart from the asset itself obviously tracking it. But maybe we're seeing off the back of the war and what's going on, political events over there could be behind the rise of these privacy coins. I personally don't own privacy coins. For me, I'm not too phased about the public addresses being sent on Bitcoin, for example, Lightning Network. I'm not too phased. I don't see the huge value proposition in it, but for some people, obviously they do. So take that as you will. Crypto is also helping Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. So the Deputy Minister, Alex, has come out from Russia and basically said crypto has been essential in aiding the Ukrainian army. They've raised over $100 million, which is absolutely unbelievable. Really cool stuff that's happening over there. Because the national bank is basically not operating, no one's working, crypto is really being able to help with fast transfers, sending it back and forth, buying goods and services, and getting results almost immediately, which is awesome. El Salvador was one of the first countries to legally allow Bitcoin as a tender, and they've seen tourism rise 30% after that announcement. Predominantly coming from the US, 60% of the tourists are coming from the US, but they've seen the country really increase in the amount of tourists, which is awesome. 300 million people expected in Q4, what they expected, in Q4 2021. So really awesome stuff. And I think for most Bitcoin people that hold Bitcoin, it's pretty attractive. And I think even for international tourists, I'm traveling to the US next month and going to Bitcoin Miami and trying to use Bitcoin as much as possible. And if you're going to a place like El Salvador, well, Bitcoin just makes sense, right? You've got it in your wallet, you can take it on your Lightning Network, you can go to a local shop, cafe, whatever, and use crypto. It's a really exciting value proposition in my opinion. We also saw exchanges monthly web traffic decrease by 20% in February. Monthly traffic has been on a steady decline since November. So we have seen obviously the retail investors, old season, things like that really not come to the forefront. The total number of visitors in November was down to 339 million, down from 546 million the month before. So pretty steep decline there. And in terms of who's owning most of that traffic, Binance are a huge player in the space, holding 31% of the total traffic of all exchanges. Coinbase following that, about half of that, 17%, Bybit 8%, FTX only 5%. Interesting. I think FTX is potentially a little bit undervalued at the moment. I think they're doing great things and I think they're going to be a massive player in the space. Binance have also come out and announced they're going to start acquiring non-crypto businesses. I actually didn't know this, but Binance bought $200 million investment into Forbes, making the only crypto exchange of a big publisher. This is really interesting. So Binance's investment in Forbes, they now have the experience, network, resources, and the world's leading crypto exchange as one of the most successful blockchain innovators. So they're really going to spread the wings and tackling acquisitions and really growing. Like these guys are a global behemoth now. They're massive. I'm not sure what their market cap is, but some of these exchanges are really huge. So it'll be interesting to see where Binance and some of these other exchanges tend to go. On the flip side, the downside of one of the exchanges, BitMEX, co-founder Samuel Reed pleads guilty to Bank Secrecy Act violation. Basically, what this meant was that he pled guilty to violating and willfully failing to establish and implement and maintain an anti-money laundering policy at BitMEX. So BitMEX is one of the oldest exchanges going right back when Bitcoin was first around. And it looks like they didn't do proper KYC measurements at that time. So he's taken a guilty plea there. It's just on the KYC. I think for newcomers coming into the space, it can be quite scary KYCing to an exchange, loading up your ID or your passport. But I mean, you're going to a bank, you're setting up a bank account, you get insurance, whatever it might be. You have to do that insurance verification. And I think crypto really, I mean, some of these exchanges takes like 2 minutes now, right? You upload your ID. As long as it's one of the more secure, bigger exchanges, it's secure, it's fast, it's really easy. So I think the KYC process has gotten a lot easier over time and is less of a barrier to entry for new people. And just finishing off with a couple of things. So Kraken announced that they would donate the money that they made from trading fees from Russian accounts to Ukraine. So Kraken's one exchange that didn't ban Russian accounts. Coinbase did. It's a little bit of a different of opinion there. I mentioned here the Kraken CEO is super libertarian, so that was not one of his options. So he's for crypto for all and not shutting down crypto. I'm probably of a similar opinion of not shutting down crypto, but also I understand where these players are coming from shutting down Russia. I mean, I don't condone anything that's going on over there, but it's nice to see that Kraken are donating that money to Ukraine as well. Just a couple of things. Jake Paul exposed as $2.2 million serial crypto scammer. I mean, there's a pretty clickbaity headline. I haven't looked too much into this, but we have seen in a number of occasions over the past, influencers get paid pretty substantial amounts of money to promote different projects. So please be careful whenever following someone online and always do your due diligence. Now to end, how can we predict price action as promised? So I recently did an interview, I posted that today with Brian from Sentiment, and we looked into how you can use the sentiment data to track whale movements, which predict sometimes price movements. So we're looking at Decentraland and Mana late last year, and there was actually a 3-day window between when whale price movement and holdings skyrocketed and 3 days after the price increase. So I'd urge you to go and check out that video. It's on our YouTube, Collective Shift YouTube. Check out those stats. It's actually quite interesting. That was something I'm going to be taking into my investing strategies. But that's basically it. So to wrap things up, Biden executive order out on crypto. It is bullish. They're not banning crypto. US want to be a leader in the digital asset space, and altcoins on the rebound, and hopefully we can find some momentum over the next few weeks as Bitcoin continues to surge higher. That's all from me today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and you can follow us more on Collective Shift. Thanks and bye for now.